Welcome to the Localpreneur Show, a podcast dedicated to featuring community-based entrepreneurs, the principles they live by, and the success they're having making a difference in the world. Here's your host, Austin Kane.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Localpreneur Show. Super excited to be here sharing this content and this story that Garrett's going to share here later today. Real quick, wanted to highlight today's guest. It's Garret with GRO Outdoor Living. They're based out of Vancouver, Washington. And again, super excited for you guys to hear some of the things that they're doing in their local community, how they're making an impact, but not only the people that they serve, but also the people that work for them as well. Garret, let me turn things over to you here for a second and tell everybody that might be watching this a little bit about yourself, your journey, and the company that you're working for right now.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Austin. And I'm happy to be on the show and glad to be a part of what you guys are trying to share to the listeners. And so I'm Garret Hergert, CEO of GRO Outdoor Living. And we're a local landscape company here in Vancouver, Washington. And we do all sorts of things from landscaping to construction, new construction, a lot of renovation work. We also have a farm out close to here where we grow nursery stock, and farming's kind of in my blood and construction's in my blood. And so we've been in the community as a family. Our family's been here since 1912. And so we've got, a good 110, 112 years, I guess, under our belts here. And that's part of, I think, the joy of having a longtime family planted roots here is just the people that you know and you come in contact with over the years. And it's really helped the business over the years grow to get it to be successful where it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome that you guys have been there so long and established those roots and have really seen the benefits and the relationships grow over time. And that's exactly what we're here today to really highlight is not talk about, necessarily the service work you guys do for your customers or marketing or whatever it might be. But we're solely here to talk about the difference that you're making in your community through those relationships that you've established, through the project, the outside projects you guys take on, and really show how you guys get back to the community. You change the lives of those people, and how you also change the lives of the people that work for you as well. That's what this podcast is all about, is sharing those stories and really highlighting, your company and the differences you guys are making. Garret, let's jump in here. Let's talk a little bit about the impact that your organization is making in the local community. What are some things that you guys are plugging into, helping out with, kind of extending a helping hand, and diving into the community? What are some of those things that you guys are doing right now?
Yeah, so we love doing community projects. We love supporting, fundraisers for youth events and local schools and church events and things like that. Personally, I sit on the board of Home with Heroes, which is a veterans nonprofit here locally, where we take veterans hunting and fishing and help them, kind of get reestablished back in the community. And so I've had the opportunity to take a lot of my team members here at GRO Outdoor Living to volunteer and to be a part of that as well. I'm actually the 2021 and 2022 president of Home with Heroes. And so it's great to be able to just be a part of an organization like that, where we're giving back to honor veterans for their service, but also help them kind of get back into the community life. And we also have worked on some charity events where we donate plant material to raise money for some of their causes, or we have gone out and done cleanup projects for other veterans and some local people, to where we're able to impact their lives because maybe because of their circumstances, they haven't been able to, say, for example, clean up their backyard or, take, a few loads of trash out and just make their environment better for them. And so we've been able to partner with a lot of the local groups. There's quite a few here in town that actually do that kind of stuff. And we've got a bunch of guys and a bunch of gals and, a lot of trucks. And so it's kind of fun to be able to support those types of groups too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's really cool. You guys are connecting with the veterans and helping them in those different ways. How did you guys come across that? You know, how did you kind of get plugged into those organizations?
Yeah, so Home with Heroes was started by a group of 4 guys. Me and 3 other guys were hanging around a campfire about 11 years ago down in Central Oregon. And we were at a similar event where we were actually getting taken care of by a company. And we thought, we don't really deserve this. We're just clients, we should figure out a way to honor some of the guys that do deserve this. And so 11 years ago, Home with Heroes was kind of born into existence. And it started out as our organization was called Hunting with Heroes, but we wanted to do a little bit more than just offer hunts to some of the veterans. And so we called it Home with Heroes. And we've done some fishing events, hunting events, and we've also done some cleanups and some extreme home makeovers. And we were actually featured on A Grateful Nation, which is on the Outdoor Channel with Tim Abel back in 2014. And so, we've really gotten a lot of exposure that way. And here 10 years, 11 years later, we're still honoring veterans. We're getting veterans in the outdoors, and we're staying true to our cause and our core, mission, which is to get veterans in the outdoors. And so, like I said, I'm the president last year and this year, and we're just continually trying to honor them with privately raised money. There's no paid positions in the organization. It's all volunteer basis, and 100% of the money gets to go to honor the veterans.
Oh, that's very cool. No, that's awesome. And just from maybe an outside perspective looking at, or maybe yourself or somebody else that sits on the board, I mean, what kind of impact do you guys see that makes on these veterans when you're doing these events, or these home makeovers, or just really helping them out to better their lives in one way or another? I mean, what kind of change or impact do you see that this is making on their lives and the organization's life?
Yeah, so one thing that's really evident in the veteran community is that most of these guys and gals don't expect anything from anybody. And so when we come in contact with them, they in their mind, they serve their country, and that's why they joined the military. And so they were just doing their job. Most of them tell us, we were just doing our job, and so when we come to them and we see a need, or, somebody calls us, or, recommends a family, or, a mom or a dad or a grandparent even, that might need some help, or, need some things done. We even rebuilt a wheelchair ramp for a guy that, I can't remember if it was a guy or a gal, it was a few years back, but we had somebody go out and they built a wheelchair ramp for them because they couldn't get in and out of their house very well. And so, we see so much emotion. We see so much just gratitude from them. Like I said, it's not expected. These guys and gals don't want anything or expect anything back for the time that they gave to the country. And so when we're able to go into somebody's backyard, and do a cleanup and put up a playground set for their family, or put garden boxes in for a mom that, never had the opportunity to really garden.
Right.
There's a lot of tears, if I'm being honest, and it changes their lives in many ways. And I know that impact will last with them a lifetime. And I'm still telling stories about it. So, with us, it changes our lives too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It is always those unexpected surprises, or projects that tend to stick with you the longest, and especially the ones that are receiving it. So I can only imagine how many lives you guys have changed doing those kinds of projects. They're just small things for a family, but to them, it could be a ginormous thing to them. So in terms of that, some of these stories are stories that are really never told, or they're just kind of done and swept under the rug, just because maybe it would make you sound boastful if you talked about it in your own way. But what about a story of a time maybe that you saw there was somebody that was in need of the services you guys do, or maybe not even those services, but the time that you guys provided free work, or just did something out of the goodness of your heart because you knew that that needed to be done. do you have a story like that that you wanted to share today?
We've got 4 core values in our company. Be bold, go above and beyond, do the right thing, and care for others. And those 4 core values, we really try to kind of drive home all the time with our guys and our gals, so that when they're out in the community, they'll do the right thing as well. And so, you know, a couple of examples that come to mind are really just of pure honesty and our technicians out in the field doing the right thing. We get paid for most of the services that we offer, but to get a phone call from a commercial client or a residential client that said, hey, I know this sounds really simple, but one of our guys was out mowing a lawn at an apartment complex, and the wife had lost her necklace that was very sentimental to her. Fell off of her neck out in the yard, which is a community yard. Our guys found it when they were mowing, and they could have kept it, right? I mean,
Right.
Anybody, when you're out and about, you find $1 on the sidewalk, you pick it up. In most cases, you put it in your pocket because you don't know whose it is. There's nowhere to turn it in, And they went door to door trying to find out whose necklace that was, and they found the owner. And in return, the lady had called into our office and gave her testimony to how we helped them. And that employee, or that group of employees, got employee of the month that month, and they all got a check as a bonus for doing the right thing. And so,
Awesome.
in a lot of the different things that we do, sharing our core values in return comes out in a lot of different ways, because now our example and the things that we're talking to our people about, it comes out with their guys, and it comes out on the job site, which you wouldn't necessarily expect it to.
Right.
And so that's really awesome and really overwhelming at times to see just the honesty that our guys are bringing out in the field with paying customers, because those little things sometimes are more impactful than the big things. And it just really makes us proud.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine just, and I love those core values you shared. I mean, I can already remember most of them in my head. And honestly, just great things to live by. So that's awesome that you're distilling that into your techs, and they're even living by it on the job, and I'm sure personally as well. And just to be able to do that, like you said, they could have picked it up and kept it, but they went out of their way and knocked on doors until they found the owner. And yeah, that's probably not a story that you'd hear from most people out there. And so that already kind of shows me, and then kind of leads us into the next question. Tell us about how your organization impacts the people that work there. I mean, you kind of already hinted at it, that you have these awesome core values, and most people are working by it. But why do people want to work for you guys? What makes you stand out, and what makes them want to stay with you and grow professionally and personally with the company that they're working for?
We try to celebrate all of our employees that work for us. And, you always have situations that come up where people decide to go work somewhere else for a lot of various reasons. We hate to see people go, but, we really do try to honor our employees. We try to pay above industry standards. When we're just talking about compensation, we pride ourselves in the amount of compensation that we pay them just to work with us, and then we have benefits and, 401k plan and medical insurance and profit sharing program that everybody in the whole company is a part of. And so when you add up all of those things, for the green industry, the landscape industry, those are a lot of things that you don't come by in most landscape companies. And so, we really wanted to create a culture where, all of our people, not only are they caring for others, but we're caring for them. And because we're caring for them, they're caring for others,
Right.
A couple stories to share, and I won't use names, but I had one of our employees come to me after Christmas, and she said, I just have to tell you that this year was the first year I was able to buy gifts for my whole family without having to get help and without having to put things on your credit card. And she said, it's because of, you and your company and working here that I've been able to do that. And I don't want to take any credit for that, because, that person works their butt off, and she works really hard. But just to be able to hear that, kind of brings a guy to tears almost, because,
Yeah.
to hear that you're impacting their life in a way that they've never experienced before, is pretty humbling. And that was, it's pretty awesome to hear that story.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Actually, on Friday of this week, one of our guys texted me and he said, "Hey boss, I wanted to tell you that we got pre-approved to buy our first house." And he's been working for us, I think, almost 6 or 8 years.
Wow.
And so that's pretty special.
Yeah.
And he said, you wanted me to tell you, excuse me, you wanted me to tell you when we got around to it. And he said, "I just wanted to let you know that, we got approved to buy a house." And so that person's been renting for their whole entire life, and they've been raising their family of 3 or 4 kids in an apartment. And I know for a fact that that the apartment complex had some issues, and they had to move them out of the apartment because there was some mold and things like that over the years. And so just to be able to see the excitement and hear the excitement in his voice when we did finally talk about it, is pretty special.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. I can see how that impacts you in your life, and I can tell that the techs can feel that too, and they see that because doing all of these localpreneur shows, I hear all kinds of different stories as that are similar or something a little different, but compared to being debt free for the first time in their life, or being able to buy those Christmas gifts or that home, and then wanting to tell you, wanting to share that information with their boss. You normally wouldn't hear that. It's like, oh, you tell your family and your friends, but they're calling you because you've made that huge difference in their life. So I can tell just from here, and we're halfway across the country from you guys, that you're doing a great job with your techs, because they want to share that story and that success with you, and it's probably because of the hard work that you're pouring into the organization yourself. So Garrett, any other stories that are sitting there on the top of your head, whether it's how you guys are involved in the community, or how you're involved with your organization, anything that's just sitting there that maybe we haven't touched on today?
I also sit on our church board here locally, and we do a lot of different things with mission work. And it's not a local thing, but I've, through GRO and some of the fundraising that we've helped do with our missions, I've been to Peru and done some fresh water wells, and we helped build a church and some things like that. So that had a huge impact on my life, and just allowed me to come home, after having that experience and being able to share those stories and the videos and the pictures, and for my team, it really showed them that doing these types of things in the community, whether it's far and abroad or here locally, it's important. And that go above and beyond, and doing the right thing and caring for others and being bold, it's core values to not only run a business by, but to live by.
Yeah.
And so, that's a fun thing to be a part of. We've been doing some volunteering at the local food banks as a team, where we go package and separate food and things like that around the holidays. And before that, we've also done some other community events with some of the local police departments, and we've worked with Young Life. FCA is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We've raised money for them, and there's a local chapter here with them, and so you can see a pattern. We love working with younger kids, teenagers, and we love working with the veterans. And so we try to cover all 3 bases and help out where we can, so we can hopefully impact somebody's life, help them to be better off.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, you're shaping the lives of younger individuals, and you're taking care of those that have taken care of us by protecting our country. And you're protecting the people that work for you, and you're teaching them not only how to be better professionally, but also to have a much better personal life as well. So I can see you're pouring into all these different buckets, and I can tell that it's definitely paying off. So well, Garret, I really enjoyed having you on the Localpreneur show here today. I'd love to have you on another one of our shows in the future, and continue sharing those stories with me and everyone that might be listening. And thanks for joining today. And thank you to everyone that's listening here.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. And I'd love to be a part of them again. We can keep in touch with you on some of the events that we do, and we'd love to share it on your platform for sure.
Absolutely. That would be great. Well, thank you again, Garret, and thank you everybody who's watching.
Thanks again for listening to the Localpreneur Show. For more of our daily content, feel free to check out Josh or Austin's LinkedIn.